Welcome back to my YouTube channels, you hoes, UPHAGS. Sorry, I'm trying to come up with a fan base name, and I'm at a dead end. So, if anyone has an idea of what my fans should be called, do let me know. My 250 fans, whom I care about very deeply. Anyway, today I'm doing something very important. I'm going to really be talking about who I am as an artist and what I want to do. This is a part of my broader series, which I just started, called Tomorrow I'll Be Famous, where I document my ascent from poverty and obscurity into mega fame and mega richness. So, tomorrow I'll be famous. Today I'm explaining myself. So who am I? I'm Aura Cruz, bitch. You've probably heard of me. I'm almost famous. So, okay, before we get started, I know that my organization skills here are kind of doo-doo. So sorry about that. But I threw this together in 10 minutes, and I felt like I needed to make this video soon. Summer's coming to an end, so I want to express myself while pride is still in the air. So I'm a newcomer. I am a colorful, concepts-driven, and disciplined songwriter. I draw inspiration from a lot of different areas. I love pop music, bubblegum pop, the Britney Spears, the Taylor Swifts. But I think that my music, what I want to do is I want to bring a little bit more optimism into this ecosystem that we have here. I really am inspired by the aesthetics of a Katy Perry or a Carly Rae Jepsen. I love the carefree attitudes that a lot of early Madonna tracks and Lady Gaga tracks have. So, I'm inspired by that sort of maximalist, character-driven, quirky pop music that has basically defined a lot of the music that we listen to today. I'm interested in creating a world that is openly queer, but accessible, deep, but relatable, because I don't necessarily feel like as a person that I'm that out of the ordinary. I'm just a gay white guy from Central Florida, trying to make a name for himself. So I'm not going to act like it's anything more than that, but I am a good songwriter, and I am talented, and, I want to be able to express that. I feel, on a deeper level, the years going by, and my youth ticking away. I'm only 19, so you'd think that sentiment would come later on, but from my experience, it's best to seize the moment, as they say. I don't want to wait until I'm 25 to start trying. I want to start now, and that's what I'm doing. I also have noticed a real gap in the pop industry, a real missing slot. There aren't a lot of good male pop stars today, and I'm definitely not a star, and I'm not gonna say that I want to take over that space, but it is at the tippy top of my aspirations. The background here is my TikTok. You can just follow that if you're interested. Even if you're not interested, you should still follow, because it would make me feel better. So the first song that I've introduced to the world, I released it in February, is called Funky City. It's kind of like an electro-pop, bedroom pop, futuristic machination that I cooked up in about a week. The song is based on an experience I had. So I have been in college, or at the time that I had written the song, I had been in college for about a year, and I lived in a dormitory on the 6th floor in Orlando. And every night I would watch the sunset from that surreal height and feel unimaginably, unreasonably alone. The song is an expression of feeling isolated, surrounded by people, surrounded by big buildings and big communities, that on a deeper level, that surrounding yourself with others doesn't always fill the hole. The song is an expression of that. It's anxious but upbeat. The song means a lot to me. I know that it's not the best song in the world. It's not expertly produced. I didn't even, if I'm being honest, I made this from scratch, and so it's my first baby releasing into the world. And even though it hasn't gotten any traction, I'm very optimistic about it, because it feels so unimaginably me, and I think I've expressed that isolation in such a deep and stylistic way. And the song represents kind of the aesthetic world that I want to be in. Neon drenched, bedroom pop, futuristic, impressionistic. I love writing that is not ultra specific, not really confessional, but conceptual. atmospheric, hinting at something without over explaining it, or writing that leaves you feeling something in the smallest number of words. I'm never gonna be the type of person who could just sprawl onto a page. I like a concise statement, and in the music coming forward, no matter how playful or quirky or weird it is, you can always trust that I'm gonna give you the best possible story or project or song that I can. Because on a deeper level, pop music is supposed to be bright and optimistic, but I think that is a generalization. So with my pop music, we're gonna do something a little bit more special, I think. We can watch some music video real quick if you like. I'm not gonna overdo it. You can go watch it on YouTube. But these are the aesthetics that I had in my mind when I was writing the song. Because I think of writing in a very visual manner. I don't like a song that goes, I felt bad because you left me. That's lazy songwriting. I think in colors and I think in images. So I expressed that in my songs. And I wanted to, when I was making this, to create an aesthetic that felt unique, stylish, and fitting towards the lyrical content of the song. We can just look at that real quick. Okay, so the video is low budget. And by low budget, I mean I bought this little outfit off of Amazon for like $40, and that was it. But I'm so proud of the video. Yeah, it's low res, it's kind of stupid, but there's like a stylistic meat to it. There's a purpose to this video. And it's, at the time that I was making the video, I didn't have a 6th-floor penthouse, nor a window to stare out of. But I did the best I could with what I had. And what I had was a large TV, YouTube, and a green screen YouTube video. Like, I played a video of a green screen because I wasn't going to buy a green screen. And so I was able to just select the background and make it whatever color I wanted. And the video is overly saturated, but that's kind of the point. It's like an expression of too much feeling, loneliness and isolation and self-pity bubbling out, expressing itself in like the most vibrant, danceable, singable song you've ever heard. And I'm really proud of it. And the song, as we talk about it, has 72 views. So I'm really happy for how it turned out, and I think, it represents what I want to do as an artist. One day, I will have a way better outfit than this. I will be able to upgrade these cheap little glasses into something a bit more expensive, and one day I will be wearing an undershirt. One day. The next song that I released is called Embarrassed, and I just released that a few days ago. I've only been doing this for a few months, and, I didn't expect much. I was kind of hoping that it would pick up a bit more than it has, but in any case, I got a series of DMs from followers that I had picked up, and this is before I even had 200 followers, who were like, man, I love this Funky City song, when are you going to release a new one? And I thought, there's no audience for this yet. Like, the Funky City thing, I wanted to build my audience gradually based off of Funky City. And I thought, like, maybe once I get to the 500 to 1,000 followers range, I could release a new song. Because I've had experiences, which we can talk about this later, where I would release too much content into a vacuum. So I was really nervous, but I felt like it was time to make something new. And it had been a few months since I had released Funky City. And Embarrassed is just an evolution of that. It's more relatable. It's unhinged, it's kitschy, it's kind of stupid. a bit profane. As a gay person, I've found that romance is kind of hard. And I've gone through phases of overly attaching myself to strangers, falling in love with strangers, and my expectations not being met because my expectations were already a bit too high to begin with, and a lot of self-hatred because it became a pattern of me falling for the wrong kind of man. The man who can't possibly want you because he's straight. That's what this song is about. It's about being embarrassed. It's not really about a specific guy. It's just about this overwhelming feeling of wasting your time and putting your faith in the wrong people. Putting your faith in love itself until you start thinking that maybe even that is cursed. The song is about irrationality. And I expressed that kind of fun. I made the beat myself, and to sing it, I actually had to practice singing a bit for a time because with Funky City, I could disguise it with the little robotic voice that I have going throughout the song. But with Embarrassed, the vocals and the expression needed to stand out more. So I had to focus on singing on pitch, but also singing theatrically, performatively. And I think I did that well. Like, the vocals aren't perfectly on pitch, but it's the best vocal performance that I've done so far, and I'm really impressed by it, or at least just proud of it. So this song's kind of eclectic. It's not perfectly mixed or mastered, and I'm kind of upset about that. But there comes a point where I have $0. It's better that I just release a song instead of focusing on making it the perfect masterpiece that I can't possibly make right now. So it's just a little expression of anger, of indignation that I'm putting out there, and I hope y'all like it. I'm making a music video for it. It's not going to be a good music video. Let me just say that by making it, I have already made it, and I've seen it, and it's so stupid. I wish I had a budget. I wish I had a camera. But I could have just replicated what I did for Funky City, and that would have been fine. Like, I could have got out the green screen. But Embarrassed is not like an abstract song. Embarrassed is about a direct emotion, and I needed to express that organically. It's such a raw song that the video needed to be raw. You'll be seeing it July 17th. It's very stupid. In spite of that, I like it a lot. Here's a little screenshot from the video, so you can tell it's low res. So what do I want from this? Of all of the roads I could have taken, why music? I didn't grow up being a naturally talented musician. I don't play any instruments. I'm not that great of a singer. So why? I think it's because compared to other mediums like film or book writing, singing and songwriting just felt like the perfect in-between. I wanted to go into film when I was in high school, but the thing about film is that the industry is so gate kept. There's so much gatekeeping, and you need to spend so much money on equipment and permits and actors that I think that it would leave me bankrupt before I got anywhere. I could have been a novelist, and I think I have the writing discipline to do that, but it doesn't satisfy my desire for aesthetic pleasure, and I felt like it would be a long shot because there's so many writers out there. I think there are so many more writers out there than there are songwriters, but I can't verify that. In any case, I feel like with songwriting, I can make a short song, 3 or 4 minutes in length, that includes the perfect amount of storytelling and emotion without overdoing it. I don't need to write a whole book. I could just make one song that contains a whole world inside of it, and that's meaningful for me. I love the idea of albums because an album is like a small world in a big format. I'm not making an album right now, but if I do, that's how I would approach it. I know I want something big to come from this. I mean, I'm not going to sit here and act like, oh, I just want to sit in my little community and, be content with that, because I'm not. I want a stadium tour. I want the music videos. I want the Slay Queen performances. But for now, I have to build from scratch. That's going to require a lot of talking to the right people, building a following of people who are actually interested in the kind of things that I make. And there's been a little bit of joy from that because I have had DMs from people who seem really interested in the music I make. It's just hard because TikTok doesn't like promoting me very much, so I'll just have to learn and become more disciplined about that over time. I also want eventually the ability to improve my craft because I hate having no budget. I have freedom, but I don't have the expertise. And I dislike that because I find myself obsessing over the smallest musical imperfections, and I stop myself and I realize this is the best you can do. Keep going. But I don't want it to be the best I can do. I want to be able to make like professional sounding things, but it's one step at a time. Now, do I have any upcoming projects, like any albums or anything? I don't. I'll share a little story, a little anecdote. Last year, I actually tried doing this whole music thing on TikTok. I had a concept for an album that was 14 tracks long, rainbow themed. It was quite good in the writing. It was called Rainbow Fairy Dreamland, but in the execution, I couldn't do it. I was in over my head thinking that I could write and produce 14 songs on my own without a strong singing voice in GarageBand. And when I released it, it went into the ether. And I was unhappy about that. I couldn't promote it right, no matter how hard I tried. And I didn't understand TikTok. I still really don't. So that's off of streaming services. Right now, I'm just going to release songs one at a time. Build my audience slowly and see how it goes. So, as a final note, thank you for anyone who watches, if anyone watches, and I promise great things are ahead. So thank you.